So have you been working out trying to put on muscle, but you still have puny little wrists? Well, I used to have this problem severely. I remember back in the day when most of my training was cardio in the form of running and also weight training. I read this article about doing a wrist test to see how big your build is and just how alpha you are essentially. Basically, the test goes like this. You take your middle finger and your thumb and you wrap it around the smallest part of your wrist. If your middle finger overlaps your thumb like this, you have a small build. If your middle finger and thumb touch, you have a medium build. And if there is a gap between your middle finger and thumb, you have a large build. And I wanted to have a large build. But when I went and I did this test, my middle finger freaking overlapped my thumb basically the entire nail. I'm not even joking. Let me make a short story long. Later on in life, I got a little bit more into breaking or b-boying, which consisted of gymnastics like power moves, and then I got into calisthenics. So I was using my hands a lot with my wrist bent like this. Now after a few years of doing this, I remember oh, let me check my wrists again. I remember when I did this, my fingers were still overlapping a little bit, but not as much as they were before. So it seemed like maybe this training where I was putting my hands down a lot, really using my fingers to hold myself up, was stimulating not only the growth of my forearm and just my grip overall, but somehow helping stimulate the density in this upper portion of the wrist right here. Now here and there, I'd continue to have seasons of really trying to put on muscle, trying to bulk up, even doing weighted wrist curls at the end of my training sessions to try to stimulate forearm and wrist growth. Now I did notice by doing all the classic techniques for trying to put on muscle and trying to grow my forearms, I noticed, I was growing, I was putting on muscle, and my forearms were even growing, but my wrist size was not increasing. My wrist still looked puny, at least to me in the mirror. Maybe I'm just way too self-conscious. But anyways, right now I'm going to share with you how only in the past few months, check this out. Look at that. There's a gap. I'm in the large build status now, baby. So literally up until last year, I was in that small to medium wrist size category. What changed? Let me tell you. Last year, I ended up doing a challenge called the 1,000 second hang challenge, where I tried to hang on a bar for 1,000 seconds a day. Obviously, I couldn't do 1,000 seconds straight, so I had to break it up into sets. But I remember at the end of these sessions, my forearms were super pumped, but also my wrists more up towards the skinniest portion of the wrist. I literally noticed physically, holy crap, it looks pumped. So I did this challenge for an entire week, and by the end of the week, when I did the wrist test in the bathroom alone, making sure no one's watching, my fingers were basically not even touching anymore. So for some reason, doing this challenge actually increased the girth of my wrist at the skinniest portion. How is that possible? Your wrist can't possibly grow because it's all about muscle attachments, and if you're genetically exposed to higher muscle attachment, then your wrist is never gonna grow according to Harvard University's. Okay, scientifically, not 100% certain, it just grew, bro, all right? It's what happened. So seeing these results, I was pretty excited, but then the holidays happened and things happened and blah, blah. I didn't really train hanging that much up until about 3 months ago when I decided to add in dead hanging back into the ends of my workouts, and I have reached that large wrist girth status. What's the protocol? Super simple. All you do is you find yourself a pull-up bar. You can use any girth of pull-up bar pretty much. You can even choose to use the fat grips on the pull-up bar. It doesn't really matter, because what matters is the time. And how do you determine your time? Well, you do your first hang, you hang as long as you can. You really hold on to that bar and you hold until you give up and you let go. Then you rest for exactly as long as you just hung. Then you go back to the bar and you try your best to hold on for as long as that first set. Whether you can hold it as long or not, once you let go, you rest for as long as you held on that second set, and then you go back to the bar and you try to hold on again for as long as you held that second set for, and then you do this for 5 sets. So an example, very simple, say you go to do your first set, you get 60 seconds before you just have to let go, you can't hold on anymore. So then you only rest for 60 seconds, then you go to your second set and you try to hold for 60 seconds again, but let's just say you only get 45 seconds. All right, so then you rest for 45 seconds, and then on your third set, you try to go for 45 seconds again, but maybe you can't, you only get 35 seconds. You only rest for 35 seconds then, and you just keep going until you reach 5 sets. Super simple, but very effective. It's like a dropping, descending set. It really works that grip, specifically in the hang position, which for some reason, it's just like from that hang position, I don't know why, but unlike other exercises that, work the forearms, like wrist curls and even like the squeezing thing, it seems like they work the forearms down here, but for some reason it doesn't cause as much of a hypertrophic response in like that upper wrist region for some reason, like the hang does. I don't like, why is the sky blue? How's a rainbow made? How's a posi track on a Plymouth work? It just does. So with that being said, give this a try if you want to. 5 sets, super simple, add it in at the end of your workout, but you gotta focus. Did we forget to throw that in there in the beginning? You're not gonna get anywhere if you don't focus. Remember that. With that being said, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Hope you got something out of it. Don't forget to subscribe. Stay tuned. I have more videos coming out. New challenge video tomorrow. It's gonna be an interesting one. Kind of weird, but very interesting. I think you guys are gonna enjoy it. And if you guys are interested in my bodyweight training program, Bodyweight Beast 2.0, go to onlykindsfitness.com. Work out with your body weight virtually anywhere. Heck, throw in a set of these 5 descending hangs at the end of one of those workouts. Really hit the forearms and wrists, especially after doing pull-ups and whatnot. Man, great program. Thank you so much for all the feedback on that. I hope you all have a great day. Peace. I will see you all in the next video.